come around you. Come around you.
Welcome to the late 6:20 chat around the world. Welcome to Megatron, Mysterio from Winnipeg, Corey Lee Slater, Redneck Red Pill, Big Papa Monk, Jawara. Mission Impossible 7, I saw it. I thought it was well done, even though potentially Tom Cruise might be Skittles. Great movie. I liked it. Pretty, predictable in the end, right? We all know there's going to be stunts, action-packed, love interest, you name it. Travis is back. Got a cold Corona airbrush and good audio for 300. Great to have you. Mr. Drummer Live is back. Batman is in the house. Everything is going well with Batman. Glad to see you here. Jawara's channel is growing. We got Troy Griffin looking thinner, rad. Good work. I kind of pop in and out. I'm usually fluctuating by 5 to 8 pounds, but it's the summer. I'm riding bikes and lifting weights. My birthday's in the middle of August, the 13th. Aren't you worried that someone's going to dox you? Who cares? There's nothing private anymore. Your private parts are in private. Your doctor's got all that information. Megatron doesn't want to see Mission Impossible. I get it. There's so many Fast and Furious. I want to see Oppenheimer, the Christopher Nolan movie that's coming out, but I don't know. I don't know if it's going to follow along the Nolan pieces of movie making. Like my favorite movie from Nolan was Memento. I thought it was well done. It was so different. Inception, obviously. Tenet was good. He's done all right. The only good thing about theaters, Corey, is it's AC, air conditioning. Polska's back. Well, listen, here is the deal. Number one pro tip as a man in 2023. And let's go back. Let's just say you're 17 and over. If you understand this, you can have a great life. Women are only loyal to their options. Let's say 98% of women. I want to always give it 2%. I'm not a fatalist. 98% of women are loyal to their options. In other words, if you are a good-looking guy and you work out and then you get with this gal and get heavy, you are now no longer attractive to that person. You are a lazy person. When the big hunk comes along at the gym, who's on his purpose, making his life better, his body, his health better, she will monkey branch. Same thing with sickness. If the man is extremely healthy, this has happened to multiple friends of mine. If the man is healthy and he gets sick, I had a buddy, 6'4", worth $6 million, six-pack, great guy. We're still great friends. Still married to the wackiest, bitchiest gal of all time, but he's Catholic, so he wants to get through it till his youngest kid graduates in another 6-7 years. He was sick, he had neck surgery, almost couldn't walk. She monkey branched. Why? Because she saw him as weak, although she was attracted to him when he was in his younger days as a hunk, right? Who says hunk all the time? Oh, geez. John C. Reilly in his skit. He's a hunk. Even the whale was a big forget. There you go. David Castro is back. Good to see you. Glad you could tune in. It's been busy for you, huh? Polska likes the lounge chairs. But let's get back to the topic at hand. So, health. If your health goes south, you have a gigantic percentage she monkey branch. Emotionally first, then physically. Number two, If you lose your business, if you lose the way to earn money, if you don't make enough money, you might make, let's say you're a teacher, you make $40,000 a year as a 24-year-old. You got your own place, you're doing well. You get with a gal, she makes 40 grand. She's a secretary. You get make 80 grand, you're living pretty good. Then you start having kids. Then she wants more. She wants her options will only be loyal until better options come along. This is what's called in the vernacular hypergamy, or in layman's term, monkey branching. Now, is it her fault that she does that? No, it's biology. It's all it is. It's biology. People go, oh, I should have done. Well, the best thing you could do is keep yourself in physically attractive, hold frame in marriage, and earn more money. Although we've seen people that earn more money are not being stayed with either. Look at Jeff Bezos. Look at Elon Musk. Look at athletes. A lot of athletes get divorced when their playing careers are over. Go figure. Sacred Smoke. MGTOW saved my life. I may be struggling right now, but I'd rather have a dog for companionship than an ungrateful lady. Peace, quiet, and freedom, Sacred Smoke. Good to have you in the chat. We're talking truth here, Big Papa Monk. I don't lie to my brothers. I want you to just not experience what I've experienced. Women are loyal to resources. Once they stop, so does the loyalty. Mr. Drummer Life. That's it. And we have to understand that 98% of women follow the bigger and better options. They follow the hive mind, the Oprah diet, the you go girl, what's popular. Ever notice why women love what's popular today? They love the Justin Biebers, the Slut Gomez, the Demi Jabo, all these artists, the chimpanzee Ed Sheeran. I'm not going to say his real name. They love that crap. They're hive mind, so they're going to monkey branch to the next level, just like a video game. A dog loves its master no matter if the master is poor, rich, sick, or healthy. Can't say that about a lady. And that's the God's honest truth right there. Well said, Sacred. Over romantic prospects, my parents and brother and friends are my true support system. And the gang here, Mysterio. I lost my health and confined to a wheelchair. My ex got admission into OT Masters. I had to withdraw from college. First thing she did, kick me out of the house and applied for divorce. Exactly. Betty Saab is talking exactly what I just said. The moment he became unable to perform financially or physically as he once was, they began to look for options. They're only loyal to their options. Rad is cutthroat today. Thank you. Appreciate it. Rav having you on as a stress. It's a stress reliever for me. I had to take my contacts out. I'm going to go ride Park City tomorrow. I'll probably do a 13-miler again. I'm going to do another trail. We shout out to Betty. You are not alone. No, he is not. Regardless if you're in a wheelchair, if you've lost your legs like T-Tox, if you have gone through surgeries or beaten, been through whatever, it doesn't matter. When they see sickness, they see weakness, and it's their biology. Goes back thousands and thousands of years to caveman days. If you're sick and unable to go and slay a bison, they're going to the next guy. Think about that. You might have that caveman might be a badass, balls out, the biggest and baddest guy. He gets bit by a bison. He's no longer able to perform. Half his leg is gone. It's amputated. He can't run. He can't hike. He can't hunt. He's basically useless to the tribe. That woman that first got with him because he was a badass food gatherer is now no longer going to be with him because he cannot provide and support like he once was. It all goes back to utility, folks. My first kiss from 17 been messaging me. I keep it short and simple or nothing at all. It's nothing bad, but I know where she's going. No monkeys welcome here. I've had multiple gals from high school as a 10th grader still reach out to me. Yeah, when I was 15, 36 years ago. Betty says that opened my eyes to the world. I even didn't know there could be such evil in the world. But blissfully ignorant, I was living one. Well, I don't think we learn this. This is why channels like this exist, to warn men. You might have a wonderful relationship in this moment. That doesn't mean the next moment will be the same thing. So what do men do? They're going to withdraw from their emotional bank account. I did this for her. We did this. We had this amazing vacation, and she still left me. There's no such thing as emotional bank account. Let me make the dotted line. She's only loyal to her options. Men think that they can withdraw from the emotional bank account when things get rough. You can't. Corey says, had a moment of clarity in 01. After that, I got hit with cancer, and a few after that, valve replacement. Oh, wow, brother. You've been through it. I'm glad you are around. Timmy Kramer, the forever bachelor, is back, listening from the beach in La Jolla. Beach camping for 300, Trebek. Say hi to your mom, Timmy. Like the universe itself is trying to defang and declaw me, I can still talk for now. For you. I don't hate females. I understand them. I will treat them like I would wish to be treated because I do have women in my family, but a cockpot treated me better than anyone could. We understand women. We do not hate women. We navigate our life accordingly. We understand our biology. We understand female biology. And this is part, hypergamy, being loyal to their options is part of their wiring. It's as simple as that. But what do most men think? The more they give, the more gifts and vacations and emojis in the morning and love and hugs and snuggles, the more that woman's going to be into them. Wrong, wrong, wrong. Bro, do you ever feel like the saying that there is someone out there for everyone is incorrect? Redneck, red pill, I don't believe that. That's like saying there's a soul, there is a soulmate. That's just fantasy. That's blue pill. A local brother lost his woman after paying for all her cosmetic work. That's another thing. Joara sent me the picture of the gal with her new bolt-ons. He spent 70 grand, the boyfriend, and then she leaves him 6 weeks later after she's healed and recovered. Huh. This happens all the time. The husband that buys his wife bolt-ons will eventually be divorced. Every man I know whose wives got bolt-ons from the husband divorced that guy. He set her up for the next smuck. Crockpot. I did everything I could do, including crying in front of my kids. Stop this. She was as cold as stone while my head was spinning, my heart sinking in the court. She, on the other hand, was full of smirks. That sounds just like mine, Betty. You found hamster and pop. Good for you. So I've been able to vent a lot. Thanks, guys. Enough homo for a hug. All good, brother. That's why we're here. Remember the guy who lost his woman after paying off her student loans? I think Pamela Anderson, the guy, some guy that she knew 30 years ago. She was with him for a week, paid off her $300,000 debt, and then she divorced him or something. It just happened like 2 years ago. Crazy. They're only loyal to their options. We got to understand this as men. You can lay down 10 huge things you did for them over the year. They stare at you like you're speaking foreign and deflect to something bad you did. All for what? Stress and 15 minutes in bed. Well said, Travis. Check out Travis's channel and his band, Curious Syndicate. Cruelty on full display in court, and she's still favored. Been through it, 29 months. If more men walked away, a woman would be forced to change generations later due to hating the new dynamic. Well, I think they're seeing that, but a lot of these women are now going Skittles. Coltimus is back. Good to see you, brother. Bolt-ons for 300, Trebek. She got a whole new face like Madonna. No surprise. I'm 37. I've had many clients who are older women, 40 plus. Most of them are not only a little crazy, they're also miserable. Get free is laying it down to Chinatown. Good to see you, brother. You're absolutely right. Keeping the emotions very minimal is inevitable. There's a hurricane every 10 minutes with the lady, especially as they get older and they go through their hormonal stages. There are hormones with men. The more effeminate men, the men that rely on emotional or were raised by single mothers and things like that as well. Infamous cheesecake. I like that. The best way to play their game is not to play monk mode. You win every time you do not play their game. Megatron says stress kills becomes a stroke. Think about you guys, the guys that listen to the RP channels for men that want to go their own way. How much stress, how many lives have we just saved or helped one another with when we've removed all the stress and the walking on eggshells? We probably saved quite a few hundred. What have you done for me lately? Corey Lee Slater says. Again, goes back to they're loyal to their options. I work in detention center working as a security and just saw a young couple get married in the magistrate office. I said to myself, God help you, brother. It's like you want to give them that little card, your little business card that says, when you are in danger, call me, Mr. Red Pill. No bra on their back or bent over. Bolt-ons don't always look perfect, Rad. I've had multiple bolt-ons. I'm not a big fan of them. They're weird. It's like you're playing with, what do they call them? I mean, they're obviously silicone, but what was that game we played with in the 80s that was like squishy? It's like a big old gigantic hacky sack. Boys need to be raised with a mom and a dad in the home. Well said, brother. It's good time to go monk mode, says Coltimus. There's no issues going monk, right? Some conversations start with, I thought you loved me. And a lot of guys say that. I thought you loved me. I thought you were going to be there through thick and thin, through sickness and health, and you monkey branched for the neighbor down the street. What's the psychological origin of a Karen? Probably. Because she can now. You know what? You know when Karens came about? Whenever Facebook came out. Now they could vent. Now they had an audience. Strangers would cater to them. Again, attention is their currency. I'm dropping a video at midnight tonight. You can see the implants down at the bottom. They got the ripples. Stretch Armstrong. There you go. I had a Stretch Armstrong in the day. There was a band in Provo, Utah, back in the early 90s called Stretch Armstrong. They're a hardcore ska band. That's a good idea. MGTOW cards with all these channels on them. Listen, buy them a beer, hand them a card, figure. I have met, funny you say that, Travis. I've met multiple guys at a local watering hole and have discussions with them because you can overhear them. You might be having some suds and you hear them talking about their ex-wife or going through divorce, and you try to, I've been there, I understand it, and they start to listen, and you let them know, hey, women are only loyal to their options, and they just shut up. They change the conversation because, again, most men, 99% of men live in fantasy. They want to believe that they picked the wrong gal. The woman that left them and was loyal to their options, they picked the wrong gal. He picked the wrong gal, so that right gal's out there. Again, and on these channels, we talk fantasy versus reality. Fantasy is blue pill. Fantasy is soulmate. Fantasy is Hallmark. Fantasy is the more I give to her, the more I can withdraw from my emotional bank account. Well, that only happens till you get served with a stack of 3-inch papers, half of it your bank account statement for the last 2 years, and then you're in divorce court. Actually, temporary orders. You got 21 days to find an attorney. All the time I keep thinking, maybe if I could have done this or done that, maybe if I'd bought her more presents, maybe a better home. I was lying to myself. She was done a long time ago. You know what? I've been through the same thing, Betty. I remember when it first came. What could I have done better? I could have been nicer. I could have bought her that red dress. In fact, who's the guitar, the country guy? Kenny Chesney wrote a song called Red Dress. I listened to it a few times. It's like, I should have bought you that red dress when you wanted it. That's bullshit. I mean, if we have to go back and say we had to buy him this and give him that house and that car for them to stay with us, they're worthless in the first place. If we really think about it, but when a man is emotionally going through, we literally believe that tennis bracelet, that's $1,200 that she wanted, we should have bought, would have saved our marriage. We literally believe that. And then we get later down the road and we realize, you know what? We could have bought her that $1,200 tennis bracelet, and then it would have turned into the latest Lexus SUV. And if it wasn't that, then she would have left us. And if we didn't get her that, you cannot compete with options, with their desires, frankly. Our brains are too different. Men pay for 95%. I would say 99%, Joara, of those implants. Mr. Drummer Live saw an ex make a post about promoting their lifetime exclusive content for $25. Her mother is joining her. Unreal, the people she has already suckered. Clown World, Generation Clown for 300 Trebek. You're absolutely right. Most songs in the movie are the man simping. The man lives in blue pill. 99% of men are still blue pill. People say men are finding these channels. Maybe. There's a lot of guys in my boat that get divorced and get back in marriage. They take on now not only her kids, but her grandkids. Got friends that have done it. David Smith says, hope all is well, sir. These women aren't even loyal to their options. They're loyal to opportunities. And even better. The better opportunities is what they're loyal to. Now, I'm going to give a delta of 2% that are not like that. But those 2% also are female. They also have hormones. They also have female nature. But there isn't that 2% that... I'm not a fatalist. You can't say 100% of all women are like that. Some might disagree with me, but I'm not going to say that because I don't believe that. I got a sister that loves her husband. He's a professor. 5 kids. First guy she ever kissed. First guy she ever dated. Well, she went on a date with one guy, but basically her first boyfriend. And they're married and happy. She is in love with him. She respects him. She does everything. She is his co-pilot. This is my sister. She's 6 years younger than me. And every time I see her, I give her a big hug. Say, you know what? You're the greatest thing that's ever happened to your husband. And he treats her great. He's from New Zealand. He's an amazing guy. And they love being married and having a family. They will make it. They will make it. Guaranteed. Thanks to smartphones, our options are unlimited. You simply cannot compete with the whole world. Game is lost. We better focus on it. Well said, Betty. This is the whole theme of my channel. Focus on yourself. That is all you have control of. You cannot buy a lady through flowers and emojis and good morning, sunshine. She will eventually get tired of you too. Look at the athletes. Again, when they quit playing sports, the most of them get divorced. Women are incapable of anything to protect their options, even to discharge the result of an option. Well said, Ironheart. Well said. Now, men are also a part of being idiots. We were all idiots at one point. At least I was, thinking, oh, the more I did for her, the more I would get in return, love, affection, intimacy, and so forth. I was mistaken. Why? Because I believed what my parents had showed me. I believed what I had heard through articles, right? But now I know. I burned my hand on the stove a few times. Now I don't touch the stove. My parents had the CMA Fest on the TV a few nights ago. I had to leave the room to the lyrics. I've lost all respect for the modern country music that's played today by male artists. Jason Aldean's pretty good. He's got some synth songs. That new song right now, you wouldn't do that in a small town. I like that. Rear View Town is good. Brantley Gilbert's good. Bottoms Up, Kick It in the Sticks. But most, 99% of, Kane Brown, that Heaven song. I like to play them on guitar because they're fun. Country music's fun to play on guitar. If FJT's listening, or John Boston, I enjoy playing country music. Even though the lyrics are massively blue pill, they're fun to play. If you can find it, then best of luck, but the exception does not make the rule. Well said, David Smith. As Tom Likas says, there's always an exception. Zion is wonderful. Yeah, you have to get on a bus when you get to the gates, and then they'll take you to the Narrows, and you can do some hikes. Angel's Landing, which is the most famous hike in Utah, and then the Narrows, which is you hike through water. Got to be careful to flash floods, though. Cultimus says being a bachelor is great. There's nothing wrong being a bachelor. It's you know who struggles being a bachelor? It's those that feel lonely. And loneliness is a skill you have to overcome. Loneliness is saying, I need someone to validate my existence. No, you don't. No, you don't. You need yourself. And it is a hard lesson today, Jawara. Northern Ontario, Alberta. I like Alberta. Alberta's got some great mountain ranges. I live just right out here, a mile away is the mountain. Dwight Yoakam, David Smith, George Strait. The new artist, Atlas, said it best. You can never trust a 304. Had to learn that quick. You can't. You know, we got to be cold, hard truth. It's very difficult to trust. It's very difficult to trust my kids. I've been lied to by my kids. You know? I mean, some parents are untrustworthy. The only one you can trust is yourself. And the only way you put the best trust and validation in yourself is to literally believe reality. You know? You got to take action. You can't sit around. You got to move energy. Rad talks about this all the time. You got to move your energy. You want to be you want to progress in life. You can't sit there. Can't play video games for 20 hours a day. You can't sit on the computer and just watching YouTube channels all day. Red pill has a place in my life, but it's not all consuming. I like watching quantum physics videos. I love esoteric type stuff. Do we really exist? Quantum mechanics, philosophy, ideas by Niels Bohr, Max Planck, Werner Heisenberg. That shit I love that crap. I mean, because it allows the mind to really believe, is this all there is in life? Because most people believe that we are a static world, but we're not. There's a lot of mystery, and I enjoy uncovering it. Nothing's wrong with 80 or 90s country. Who invented the race MGTOW? That's a great question. It's probably like Barbarossa or TFM or somebody like that. Find out who did that. I was thinking of love songs. For Guys Who Hate Love Songs by Red Pill Tell, featuring such a I used to love her. You know who's a great band that does not play any of that love crap? Metallica. All of their music is about freedom, war, politics, you know, standing up for yourself. Good stuff. Coltimus says, take the shrooms. Think 6 days on a road. That's a song, right? Local brother thinking of suing X for the cosmetic work, money back. Will the courts help him? No. No, he's an idiot for doing it. He thought buying her those new bolt-ons and new plastic surgery would make him a hero. No, she looks at him and says, this guy's a simp. He's weak. He kowtowed to me. Best thing you can do. What does Tom Likas say? Tell him no. Don't spend any money on them. Don't be nice to them. Don't be a simp. Weed Whisperer, AC/DC, Pink Floyd, big fans. I went through a big Pink Floyd phase in high school. Dark Side of the Moon. Even the new Pink Floyd that came out. What was that one with the two statues that had... it was like 89, 88. I think Roger Waters was gone by then. Just David Gilmour and his gang. Metallica is the best. They're great. Although Lars is he's a little liberal, little weak liberal. James Hetfield is where it's at. And Robert Trujillo, the bassist, came from Suicidal Tendencies, which is one of my favorite bands in the punk scene. Him and Mike Weir put suicidal tendencies on the map. And now he plays bassist for Metallica, which is a great step up, but still. Great pedigree. If you like sciences, there is a channel called Scienceville, the AI, that is really good. I love watching that stuff. I'll have to check that out, David. That's right, Division Bell. Well said, brother. I got the tape somewhere. Still listen to it. And even Robert Plant came out in the 80s with Ship of Fools. I thought his solo stuff was great too. Corey says only augmentation I accept would be breast reduction. Seems the bigger the breast, the less they use their mind. Even those breast implant, they cause a lot of those, again, people say don't drink out of plastic water bottles, the BPA. What's seeping in? There's a lot of women getting their breasts removed. It's messing with their biology. You're not meant to put a plastic water balloon in your breast. Wow. Pink Floyd, The Animals, another one. There you go. Academy of Ideas is a good channel too. I'll check that out. Division Bell, we're talking little stuff. I go through phases. I'll do like alternative, like the Smiths. I go through the like Joy Division, New Order. I love the Cult is my favorite band. Then I go on a metal kick, LA Guns, Motley Crue, all of the metal bands. I go on a hardcore, Exploited, TSOL, GBH, Kick, and then I go back to like 60s, The Doors. It's all good stuff. CCR, that's funny. Bob's a big flat player here. Pink Floyd's Animal is the best one. Animals is a good one, I'll say that. Average man is invisible to below average women. I see so many handsome men married to 300-pound fupas. They come compromised out of desperation. You can clearly see the defeat in their eyes. Well, most men will do that because they don't want to be alone. They need the affection. And if a man marries out of desperation, doesn't the woman, I don't care what she looks like, she knows he's a simp. She runs his ass all day long. Again, stay out of that lower end of the pool. You don't want to be there. Travis says you're going to have to go for Megadeth. Better guitar. Dave Mustaine for 300 Trebek. Well, I think Mustaine wrote most of the songs on the first, 3-4 albums of Motley Crue? Or excuse me, Metallica. Good stuff. Mr. E is in the house. Good to see you, brother. Was listening to the Cult today, my man. Electric and Love. Love is my favorite record by the Cult. Came out in 85. That's the one with She Sells Sanctuary, but that's my least favorite song by the Cult. Yes, Get Free. It is a red state. Lots of guns and pickup trucks and mullets. Run Like Hell is your favorite Floyd song. There you go. Jawara. But Jawara, you're black. You should be listening to R&B and rap. Isn't it funny how stereotypes are like that? Cultimus Maximus. Fubar Fupa. It's funny. My favorite punk band hardcore is Bad Brains. Bunch of Rastafarians from DC. They're all black and they kill it. They are the grandparents of modern day hardcore. And then look at David Smith. Absolutely, desperation is rampant, and we should blame the media. Bolo is in the house. I spread disease like a dog. To see Bolo out of camp. Got some Canadians tonight. That is a good guitar part. Don't forget Slayer. What about Anthrax? Several small species. Oh, Slayer. How about South of Heaven? Several small species of creatures gathered together and grooving with a pict. I don't know. You have to ask Bob on that one. Seasons in the Abyss. There you go. Timothy is back. Timothy Sokol. The women have told us men we're useless and not rich or 6 foot tall. We listen to ladies piss off and burn. Seasons in the Abyss is an amazing song. I would agree. Infamous Cheesecake. The winter has arrived, ladies, and it's going to get colder. It is also due to unlimited options that women have become extremely unhealthy. They know they don't have to take care of themselves anymore. They would be a simp around to love her. Absolutely. You know, when you go to the Cheesecake Factory, for all those that live in the United States, Subliminally is a great song. Love it. If you go to the Cheesecake Factory, that menu literally has 1,000 items on it. And when you look at all those items, they all look, you start reading them and you start getting inundated with so many of, wow, I don't know what to choose. And then you start getting stressed out. What if I choose the cheeseburger over the, pasta or over another piece? And then I always get the lettuce wraps because it's easy. That's all I know. And I eat the bread. Maybe I'll get a piece of cheesecake in the end, but I haven't been to the Cheesecake Factory for years. But what I'm saying is there's so many options that it literally becomes stressful and unhealthy. So absolutely agree with that statement, Betty, using an analogy from Rad's restaurant experience. David Smith, I did see it when Anthrax made that. And let's talk about the blonde in Married with Children. What's her name? Fortunately, she has MS now? She was hot in those days. Kelly. What's her name I can't forget. I'm forgetting her name in person, in real life. I think it's Jethro Tull. Betraying the Martyrs, good band if you like metal. I've heard of them, but I've not heard their music. Isn't the Cheesecake Factory all about carbs? Yes. Christina Applegate, there you go. That's it. She was hot in her day. Unfortunately, man, she, due to her illness and her choices in life, I don't think, have you definitely don't want to see people that are literally, she's a year older than me and she's walking with a cane. She probably won't be around in the next 5 to 10 years or be like really incapacitated. Mr. Sammy is back home from Chi-Town. Good for you, brother. Good to see you, brother. Kelly does not look good anymore. Unfortunately, she has to take steroids for her MS, and she does not look the same as she did. That wall is unforgiving. And women that go through Shannon Doherty, right? 90210, she's on her stage 4 cancer. But again, that's unfortunate. But a lot of women that don't have diseases, again, the wall is undefeated. And there is a wall for men too. There is a wall for men too. The only way we beat the wall is right here and physically moving. Megatron Cheesecake Factory is awesome. They found LED for bank. They were going bankrupt? I knew they weren't paying their rent through the pandemic, but maybe that contributed to that. The singer for Bad Brains had cancer and couldn't sing. Lamb of God singer sung for him the last time. DR. HR, excuse me. Dr. No is the guitarist. I didn't know that. I know I've seen Bad Brains, but HR he's a head case. Lead singer, amazing singer. Him and Dr. No and Earl, great musicians, great singer, but if he gets mad, he won't sing. Rising popularity of incel as a throwaway insult is the greatest indicator that people don't care for the average man or his problem, that he's invisible. Yeah, you guys seen One Fast Dax last video he did with the bourbon cigarette and there's a piece of cold metal and he reads something about the man? Quite inspiring, but quite depressing as well. I won't say that, Timothy, but I definitely agree. David says, love the interview. Well, that was last year. And then Sack from France sent me that video. Though and I've asked him to send me some of the good collabs we've done. But Pop, yeah, it's about helping men. And men are disposable. That's why we continue this is why I do what I do. Not only it's healthy for me and it's helpful for me as well, but it's helpful to get an engaged discussion and say, you're not alone. You're not alone. You can reach out to men, and men will support you. Men age like long wine, and women age like sour milk. Is what people say. Men age like Sean Connery, and women age like Sean Connery. There you go. But like Bad Religion, although they're all libs. It's funny, all my favorite bands are liberals, but yet they sing this hardcore, masculine sounding, and Bad Religion, man. They've been around since I think 79. I know they were touring last year. I'm scared a lot of these women are going to get desperate. They're going to become increasingly dangerous. Huh? Best thing to do is to avoid them like the plague. Right, Coltimus? Wyston Marsalis and jazz. Are you saying you like jazz, Ironheart? Jazz is good stuff, too. Turning 40 this year, watching girls that graduate. Yikes, us men still look 30. I'm turning 51 next week, or next month. I've met guys that are 10 years younger than me that live around me. They look like they're 60. My brother looks older than me. He's literally 13 months older than me. He looks like he's 65. I think it all comes up to how you perceive yourself. And if you want to be a better person, you can have good health. If you have bad health now, you can have good health. Fast, watch your diet, cut out the suds, cut out the sugars, the carbs, eat carnivore. But that's the reality. I mean, if Mick Jagger can do it, so can we. And look at Stallone, 78 years old, still looks like a badass. Although, he's married to a gal 20 years is his senior, 20 years his junior. And she's only loyal to her options, right? We do these channels to help people, men in particular, and women that have young. I have been emailed by so many ladies saying, I am so scared for my boys. You know what I tell them to do? They need a strong father figure. They need to start listening and watching and observing the girls around them. And it comes from the home. And they need strong mothers that tell them to stay away from these 304s. Good for you, Corey. I'm 30, look about 20, but I'm putting on weight faster than I'd like to. It happens. That's our bodies. Our bodies typically, as we age, there's an inherent subconscious, mortality quotient, I call it, that we put on weight basically so we don't starve to death. So we have to use fasting and different diets and training to get to our ideal weight. But our body does like set weights. And that's one of the challenges of losing weight as you get older. Jawara, his wife is not satisfied. The guy makes what? He's worth $500 million and she wants $130 grand. I like the fact that he's fighting her. He could have $100 billion and he's still fighting her. You don't need, and this is what men need to do. You need to oppose the wife's petition in divorce court. She wants alimony, you don't give it to her. If she wants 100% custody, you get 50. You fight. That's what I did. Remember, my theme was you don't get rewarded for breaking families up. Never weighed more than 180. My highest weight was 207, 17 years ago. And I looked like and I started doing something. Started riding a bike, started working out. Now I'm about I should be about 175, 180. I'm probably 184 right now. Not going to beat myself up. Colt, yep, Coltimus, bread, carbs. If I actually did keto for 2 weeks and I felt pretty good, although I didn't have a lot of energy. It was weird. I needed the carbs to do my hikes and my rides. So, you can bust out literally if you did carnivore for 2 weeks straight, meat, dairy, salt and eggs and fish, they'll drop weight quick. Tomorrow I'm going to ride it with a buddy of mine. Moderation in all things. Well said, Corey. Back down to 130. Dang. Hey, Rad, I'm from the newer generation. I was wondering if hair loss was common now as was back. It's always been around. I started losing my hair in high school, senior year. Got thin. Maybe because I bleached it too many times. But yeah, hair loss is nothing you can do about. Well, the only thing, my youngest has been losing. Well, it seems to get thinner, and then his mom got him Nutriol, which is a DMT. It's a blocker for that hormone in the hair follicle. And that's not DMT. DMT is that God molecule. Just look at Nutriol, Nutriol. It's a blocker that causes hair loss. But no, hair loss has been around forever. I got married with no hair. I had ladies with no hair. If you think hair is important and it's going to get you laid, I would say 70% of women love bald men. So don't worry about it, weed. I've started walking about a mile a day, planning on increasing that to at least 3 by the end of summer. Good for you. Get down to 130. Walk an hour a day, 3 days a week. Put some headphones on and just enjoy. Watch people. 19. I knew a guy that went gray real early. Amar's in the house. Shout out to Amar for sending over videos. Good to see you, brother. Appreciate you downloading all of the videos. Used Tubes does not like this content. My hairline receded 2 inches, but I still have hair. Yeah, you don't need DHT, Colt. That's it, DHT. That is what we need to do. And confidence is all that matters. Look, women, I've seen very gorgeous women with ugly dudes. Status, confidence, guys on purpose. DHT, that's exactly what that chemical is. I'm fighting for full custody since she has alienated me for 8 months. Hopefully get at least 50. It's looking good for me, Rad. Her and her attorney got nothing. 2 more. Good for you. Hang in there, my man. Remember, keep your nose clean. Be there. If you got to pick that child up at 6 p.m., be there at 5:45. When you need to drop them back at 6, you be there at 5:45. Keep your nose clean. You are the more trustworthy of the party of parents, and that's how you have to live your life. You clean their clothes, you make them well fed, you do their hair when they're going back home, you put a smile on their face. And if the kids are young enough and Mother's Day comes around, you got to do something for Mother's Day. You got to have the kids draw a picture or buy a candy bar or whatever, and it goes home with them. They don't have the money or the knowledge to do that. You've got to do it. And you record all that. Project AZ, greetings, men in the fold and women watching while NGTOW. Good to see you, brother. Thinning a bit, slightly graying, but my chin is mostly salt and pepper. I got some salt and pepper. And on my chest hair, too. You got to just stay strong. Look, court is the worst place I've ever been. I think it's worse than hell. You're dealing with a person in a black robe, influenced by the Duluth model, influenced by the government, influenced by the laws, and influenced not to like men, especially good fathers. You got to stay strong. That's why these channels exist. Big John Help Me, Paul Proteus, Barbarossa. Those are the folks I listen to. It emboldened me knowing that I wasn't alone and that I had certain tips and tricks and understanding that I would not have had if I had not found those channels. And this is why we do it. This is why I continue to put out content. Do I have to do that? Have I said everything I needed to say? Absolutely. Absolutely. But it's important that we continue this dialogue. There's a lot of content creators that have decided, you know, I can't do this anymore, and they leave, which is fine. Most men should graduate from this. Life is great when you can't make those DGs happy, no matter how much or how little one has. You can't. Go have all the money in the world like Elon Musk. How many times have you been divorced? Most of my favorite content creators have been downloading. That's why I decided to download. They're all good for you, brother. Couldn't have done it without you, Mar. Sack AB. Rad, I remember a video where you said your friend who was 6'6" deleted. I couldn't believe it when I heard it. Yes, he was. Keep us posted, Travis. It's unfortunate. Men find literally no light at the end of the tunnel. They lose custody. They lose, if not, they lose their house. They lose the things they worked for. They live in their car, their trunk. They have a walk of shame to go live with their parents again, or a brother or a sister. They have a walk of shame saying, my wife divorced me. I'm worthless. I'm rejected. And we're here to say, that's not the case. That's the circumstances right now, but that's not the case. You're a good person. Gregory tried to save money in the courts. Guys, if you're ever against, this goes for everybody. You find the biggest and baddest bulldog attorney in your town, you pay every damn cent for him. That is the only way you win in the court. Thanks, Infamous Cheesecake, for being here. Yeah, shout out to Hammer as well, brother. Everyone is against you in the court system, including your own lawyer team. You enter a slaughterhouse and pray you don't lose all the limbs by the time you're out. A lot of lawyers play for the other team. A lot of men's lawyers. Luckily, my lawyer my lawyer was the best lawyer. Spent a lot of money on that lawyer, and he protected me. He loved the game. He loved winning. And most lawyers that literally, they'll make deals with the other lawyer, the wife's lawyer. Hey man, this is the best we can do. You might as well take it. They just want to close the case and move to the next one. Now mine was like, no way, man. We're gonna put her on the stand. I'm like, I don't want to go that far. Yeah, that's too bad about Mr. Gregory. He's like very detailed in his speech. I found light pretty sad state of affairs when men can only rely on the other men for encouragement and appreciation. Well, we don't need the appreciation. Rule number one, we do not need the validation of women. We do not need the appreciation of women. It would be nice to have that, but it doesn't matter. We need the validation and the appreciation of ourselves. And then we align ourselves with men that have similar thinking. If we understand that we want to live in a pill of reality, in the reality instead of the fantasy, then we need to find guys that believe in that reality. And unfortunately, there's not a lot of guys in my neighborhood, the guys I know, that literally believe this. Most of them are married. Most of them are telling me to go get married. So my community is 99% online. I've graduated to my new path after divorce, men going forward, my religion, the gods of post-net clarity. There you go, Project. There you go. Well said. Post-net clarity for 300 Trebek. It ain't easy being MGTOW. Well, it's not, because it goes against the grain. But I'm happy as hell. I'm happy as hell knowing what I know. And I wouldn't go back. Father Saunders is back. Good to see our brother Jared. Check out Jared's got live streams. Typically does them on the weekends, maybe once a week, maybe twice a week. And he's going all night. And you've got Brandon Trueblood every single day. His channel is going 12 hours a day. You need someone to talk to, get on Brandon Trueblood's channel. Scotty's going live tonight, if he's not live already. And I'm going to end it here in a few minutes, but you've got Terrence Pott. Hammer is always going. You have the ability to be with like-minded men, literally every day of the week. Good to see you, Jared. And if you want to hear a story, and hopefully if you're listening to that, find the video with Father Saunders and One Fast Stack so we can post that. I think we did that October 31st of 2021, Halloween. 50% sucks for 14 more years. Man, I am so glad I am done. My youngest is 18. There's no more child support left, although it was very little. And I'm out of the court system. Unless I choose to go back in the court system, which hell no. I Won't Be Fooled Again for 300, Trebek. Great song. Even the ugliest ones with 4 kids from 3 men have more options than an employed bachelor. Yes. 100%. You be safe as well, Corey. Halloween it was, Father. Halloween. But that's the reality. Women are only loyal to their options and or opportunities, as David Smith says. I think David said that. But it's absolutely right. So if men know this, why do we get caught up and emotionally out of whack and depressed and sad and want to delete ourselves? We need to understand this. This is their biology. We don't hate it. We understand it. We can't fix it. You're not going to fix it if you make the most money in the world and have the biggest and baddest body. Look at Stallone. Look at Schwarzenegger. His wife wasn't putting out, and the dummy went and got with his maid. She a ugly. She a goofy. Right? And so we have to remind each other on a daily basis that just because we are a great person, a great provider, and a great protector doesn't mean they're going to stick around. No. If that was the case, they'd all be men. We'd be married too. And why? It's logical. A man says, look, I've done this. I've provided a house. I've provided cars, education, extracurricular trips, presents, and so forth. She should stick with me. Really? That's not how they think. They say, look, I can do better. My sister just got divorced. My neighbor just got divorced. My best friends just got divorced. They're on to somebody better. Or they think they are. That's the funny thing. And then that marriage blows up and they move forward. Be safe, rat, all you guys. If they can't be happy, please accept and let the dying beast of blank go away. We just have to understand it. You know, that's literally all it is. In the middle of this custody suit, she tried suing my business. Nah, no surprise. Now I'm reversing that back in her for the 60 grand she owes me and my family for helping her business. Go after everything. Go after. Remember, this is the greatest advice my attorney gave me. It doesn't matter if you're nice or a dick during the divorce process. It's the same result. In fact, that person might respect you more if you totally just go nuclear. No way. We're landing down in Chinatown. You wanted this? This is what you get. Again, my theme in my divorce, you don't get rewarded for breaking a family and destroying your kid's psyche. And I made sure that didn't happen. And I was willing to spend everything that I had, which was pretty substantial. Worked for 25 years, had good investments, sold houses, had great stocks, great funds. I wasn't hurting. But I was willing to live in a gutter and a tent out of principle. And it's really unfortunate that I even had to think like that. But that is actually what I thought about. Save money for travel, not love. Megatron. You never know how good freedom is until it's gone. Well said, Get Free. Thanks for being here, Jawara. God bless y'all. We as men are way greater than our thirst. Ain't that the truth? We've got to understand our thirst. People talk about controlling our biology, but we're men. We have testosterone pumping through our veins. We enjoy beautiful breasts, beautiful legs, beautiful ass, beautiful face. We think all of that will transform itself into a co-pilot. And sadly, are we mistaken when we find out that is not the case? Then we think, oh, with all of that, I'm going to provide and be a provider and a protector and I give her what she needs and be there and kind and gentleman. And they get bored of that. So again, these channels are about the cold, hard truth. Doesn't matter what you do. Doesn't matter what you do. Their biology will dictate differently. 70 grand is a lot of money, Jawara. Rad sending it, can only send 2 gifts. That's all right. Just send 10. Send the amount you've been sending till we get them all done. It might take 3-4 months. Big deal. But I appreciate you doing that, Brother Zach. How many men here wanted to avoid the courts and the woman turned bitch switch and blows thousands? I'm going to say 80% of women in marriages either divorce or you just can't. It's cheaper to keep her, or you don't want to get out for the kids or what have you. But it's not worth it anymore. It's not worth it. The risks outweigh the rewards 10 to 1. You want to go and try to get married? Good for you. But I don't recommend it. You have that fantasy that she's going to be the one that's going to stick around. Oh, in this moment she is, but not the next moment. The next moment is full of probabilities. Quantum physics talks about probabilities. It can go either which way. You might have a 6-year run that's amazing, in love, intimate, and then one day the bitch switch turns on because she saw a channel, she saw a program with Oprah, The View. Her best friend got divorced and apparently is living a life of such happiness and freedom. You never know what's going to happen. Guys, it's been a good stream. I appreciate everybody being here. Remember, she's loyal to her options, 98%. Be mindful of that. Costner spent thousands for his wife, of course, and she still looks her age with a frozen face and a mind of disgrace. Rebel against defeat, chase excellence, masculinity, men first. Go have a great weekend.